it overheated, and it was on the window holder. So yeah, I probably should have paid attention to that. So like I said, 91 degrees out here, so it is hot. So folks, going back, so this is part two for those of you just now joining me of the live stream. I started it about 20 minutes ago. So yeah, going back to the Sudan. Yeah, my phone overheated. There was nothing evil. The YouTube didn't kill me. Um, my phone literally goes, it's overheated, and it gives me this little dead symbol, and then pff, that was it. There's no more live stream for you. So I switched to my other phone because I got a work phone, which is my personal phone anyway. I just use it for work business purposes. What's going on, everyone? So we'll try that again. Anyway, the Sudan. So I was saying one of the things I learned was be familiar with your area. I'm actually parked under a tree. That's where it's dark now. Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate it. Yeah, I couldn't get back in the other stream, so I figured that was that. Yeah, we have the red flag for fire. Thank you, Wolfang. So, one, if you're traveling in other places, hey Mimi, hey Glenn, everybody, get familiar with the area. I've said this before, a lot of us have. Especially if you're traveling somewhere you don't know. You know, if I go from West Texas to Dallas or Houston, I kind of know the lay of the cities. In a generic sense, I kind of know where the waterways are and the bridges are, enough to navigate my way out of the city. Yeah, I know. I got. Yeah, please make sure you hit this like. Thank you, Coffee. Yeah, I'm at 2,800 here, Glenn. So, did you know that where we are is higher than Vegas? You and I both. This is like time travel. Truth, Mark. But you want to get familiar with areas you're going to. Do your homework. I've done videos on it. I know other people have. But it's super imperative because there were a lot of international people in the capital, which I believe is Khartoum. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hey, batshit. And Joe, 100 miles north of Austin. Hey, Vision. Yeah, this is part two. My part one died. What happened to these international travelers? They don't have any contingencies. No, yeah, I know. North Africa, yeah, Sudan is in North Africa versus the country of South Africa. But these are two very good examples, and actually, to your point, is two very good examples of a societal collapse in two completely different regions. Even though they're on the same continent, they're very different cultures, very different geographically. But what happened in South Africa, which is down in the southern tip, is during COVID, they lost control of the country. And basically, gangs had ransacked all the warehouses of food, all the storage facilities, and then they were fighting to where it was basically the towns, the local police were going to the local hunters and saying, help us blockade our town, and they locked their own town in, which is bad. This is really, it's not good when, I mean, it's good that they did that, but it's bad that it came to that point. But when you're, actually it's mean sea level is typically, so like the average sea level, Mark, that would be 0, I guess. I don't know. But the what we're seeing in Sudan is literally the government is broken in two. It's gone from an insurrection. It's almost about to become a revolution. They just haven't defined the sides yet. So make sure I'm in live chat. I thought I was in live chat. Let's see. Oh, now there's no chat. I done screwed something up. Hold on here. There we go. Welcome to live chat. Okay. So yeah, I'm in live chat. I think other folks may not be. But so two, a lot of the people that were being interviewed on the ground, from what I saw, and again, this broke out literally in the last 20 hours, the people on the ground were not prepared with food, or I meant everyone. No, that's fine, Coffee. It's good. I've actually been in live top chat, and I missed half the comments. Armageddon, I can't argue with you on that one. God knows. At this point, we're in the Cold War again. We're not having issues. We're not posturing. We're in a freaking Cold War. And I think the sooner we as a preparedness community wrap our hands around that, we're in a Cold War and we're being lied to by the government, which is not a surprise because all the governments are lying to their own people anyway. It's a warm Cold War, yeah. So, yeah, we haven't seen this shit since, what, maybe 85 when Red Dawn came out. That's when it really hit its peak. Gee, governments lie to people? No, yeah, no. Armageddon is a safe word. That's bad. Mark, I'm not even going there. CBDC. There you go. I'm loopy from anesthesia, sorry. Hey, that's fine. Some days I'm just loopy because it's that kind of day. So you have an excuse. That's legit. A lot of the people did not have preparedness of any type. Especially, it seemed to really affect the people in the cities. Also in that country, firearms are kind of hit and miss who owns it. Probably the wrong people own it. But out in the country, they're away from the fighting, whereas in the cities, they're fighting over airports, they're fighting over the ports, they're fighting over supplies. But what you have here is not remote gangs. You literally have two large military groups. Hey, Devil Dog, having a fight with each other, and the civilians are caught in between. And that's bad. So civilians are trying to run away and getting shot at because the two sides are not sure who's who. Yeah, Lucky, that's absolutely right. It's basically whoever has the firepower to take the area, they're in that area. So this is a very quickly evolving situation. I might try to go online late today and see if I can get some of the international news, and I might try to live stream it like through a StreamYard. I'm not sure how I'll do it, and see if we can get some more current news. But it was really bad. The last video clip I saw was earlier today, and there was literally a Sudanese attack aircraft. It was they don't have Warthogs, the Sukhoi 25, the Frogfoot, which is basically a competitor to the A-10 Warthog. It's smaller, was making bombing runs in its own city at the other side. And then as it pulled away, he was popping flares because they were firing rockets up at him. So this is a really bad situation for these folks. I'm seeing water is immediately an issue because the power's already been knocked out. Yeah, no shit, Mark, that's the truth. Food, hey Irishman, what's going on? Hey Daryl, if I didn't say hi to any of you in the chat before, I apologize. My chat got killed halfway through while I was trying to drive somewhere to where I could park and talk. Well, the A-10 Warthog. Although, in my opinion, Glenn, the Tesla Robotruck or whatever Cybertruck looks a lot like the Halo Warthog. You know, I would die on that hill. I think Elon was playing Halo and went, we should make a truck that looks like that. So, it's, yeah, the A-10 Pew Pew. So, there's been a lot of, it's bad. People can't flee. Hey, Ark. People can't flee because the two military groups are basically shooting up anything on the roads. So folks are trapped. So one, the international folks are really screwed right now, because anyone who was in the, oh wow, see, in Tanzania is in severe drought and they're cutting water. See, so you're seeing overlapping problems in different countries. That's going to start getting bad. People are going to get desperate. What that's also going to do is the people who can get out are going to flee to somewhere else, and it's going to increase this illegal immigration to Europe and Italy, and which they're already fighting with the influx of people. So yeah, it's you're looking at a, hey, Prepper Book Club. I can only imagine people who are on the road and something like that breaks out. And I know Vision did a video. I've done videos on the get home bags. Mine is constantly evolving because something else pops in my head or the weather changes. So like cold weather gear right now is probably not what I need in my truck. So I can replace something else. Wheat harvest expected to be a third of last year's harvest. See, that's bad too. That's going to contribute to more problems. But folks, what's going on in that country is really bad, and that truly is an insurrection. Okay, there are dead people all over the street right now. There are soldiers killed, civilians killed, the National Guard or paramilitary, whatever they are, getting killed. When the government is trying to bomb its own cities to keep things under control, and how I gained 10 pounds. You know, Vision, to your point, I've found I'm trying to keep mine between 15 to 20 with enough room to add and subtract, because a get home bag, I may have to go through a city, which is my 80% scenario, and I don't want to have a 60-pound pack at my age trying to run from a gang of people. I want to be able to move, and if I can fit in a dumpster with my pack, that would be even better, and just disappear in the garbage. But yeah, it is evolving. I'm in the same boat, Vision. It's definitely, we had pestilences already here. Yeah, war and famine. Yeah, and Vision, it's a balance with the get home bags. And that's another thing. You know, a lot of these people were traveling from the country into the city to do, yeah, that's true, Lucky. A big pack does draw attention. Well, Joe, but people will probably be running from you because you'll say you're your own country, and they'll be like, and either that or they'll join you. Joe might have his whole own community. At the end of a day, he'll be like, we're the Joe country. And people will be pissed off. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Joe country it is. So Joe may become the president of his own nation. You know, kind of like that movie, but trouble hunters, like rabbit hunting. Yeah. But a lot of these folks, they got caught traveling into the city, and they're from the country. So now they got to get out. And so All-American, we already mentioned that, but yeah, bringing up that point again, the water's already out to most of the larger cities. The power's out in a lot of the cities. And you have these two groups who are trained, who have access to armories and military bases fighting with each other. Again, when you see the government doing bombing runs on its own city, and then the plane is having to pop flares and leave in a hurry because he's got SAMs coming up at it, that's a bad situation. And the fact that it's all people from the same country doing this is ugly. This is a bad deal. Armageddon pointed out it may be a deeper political thing. One side trying to prevent the other one from inviting certain large countries from making military bases there. Who knows? I wouldn't doubt it. But a lot of lessons to be learned there. Water is going to become an issue for the people in those towns and cities. Security is definitely already an issue. The problem is trying to flee while there's an active war going on, basically an active firefight that's running the entire length of some of these cities. That's dangerous as shit. Hey, Moonsprout, trying to run away with small children? Like, I can't even fathom families with little kids trying to flee, and you don't know which side to go to. Thank you, Vision. Yes, please throw some likes on that chat if you can. Um, a lot of lessons, and a lot of the content creators we've talked about, get home bags, bug out bags of different types. You need to be able to address your unique situation, because if you travel like I do, getting home is going to become a big deal. Because I'm not going to bug out if something happens and I'm in Dallas. I'm going to try to go home. I'm not going to try to bug out to an alternate location from Dallas if I don't know my family members are safe. You know what I mean? Like, and your situation's different. If you're a business traveler and you have kids at home, you're going to want to go home and get your kids and your spouse or whoever else is at home and then go somewhere else. So now's a good time to make friends too. There's a phrase that I heard, actually, I've heard it before, but I heard it in John Wick is where it stuck with me, which was, yeah, Vision, definitely, which was the commerce of relationships, right? He's talking about the coin that John Wick's trying to reconcile with the high table in the second movie, or it's the third movie. And he says the coin represents the commerce of relationships. Being in a business where a large part of my job is engaging in relationships with other companies, with other individuals, you start to get to know people. And knowing local assets, people who would think the way you are, the way you do, is a good thing, you know. Off the top of my head, right now, I can think of 8 or 9 guys and girls who, outdoorsy hunters, former military, medically trained, who are all of our mindset within 10 miles of me. I know one homesteader who specifically said, if you ever get in a bind in the city, grab all your shit and head my way. And he said, I know your truck and I know your license plate because I still have my guard plates. He's like, and we'll put you in the rotation. So he's already got a plan for his mag, right? And he's like, yeah, we've already got a rotation, and the ranch next to me has their rotation. And there's, you know, you start, but that's out here. You go into a large city like a Houston, a Chicago, it can be completely different. You might have 2 friends in your building out of 50 apartments. So it's scary. Before my pendeja's sister shows up. Yeah, I need to send Joe a dictionary of Spanish obscenities so that he can use. Right, and All-American, to be fair, if you watch like The Walking Dead, right, everyone says Negan's the enemy. I get where Negan was coming from, right? Like, he saw it for what it was. He just went off the rails, but that's not wrong what he said. People are valuable. People can be assets to one another, and in a group, if you're organized, it would be great. As far as the children, guys, if you're prepared for the children and you keep an open mind and flexibility as to how to react, you can do okay. I went through hurricanes with 3 small kids. We had no lights, no power, water went dead, but we prepped the right way. So for that week where we had no water, no power, we did okay. We weren't happy. The kids were miserable, right? They were complaining, but you know, they you know, because they couldn't watch, you know, Bear in the Big Blue House or whatever the hell it was they watched back then, or Blue's Clues, or what's that, those idiots, not for crying out loud, with the Blue Jay and the other guy, oh shit, the raccoon and the blue, Mordecai and Rigby. What the hell is that cartoon called? Help me out here, guys. I forgot. Anyway, yeah, whatever cartoon-ass character they were watching, they couldn't watch it at the time, but kid show sucks. Try Ren and Stimpy on your kids. Okay, Joe, just to give the kids a taste, And Lucky's absolutely right. If the parents are calm and organized and give the kids focus, they're gonna follow. That's right. Blue's Clues was Pedo Clues. So Joe Morgan and Glenn, to your point, my before my sons left the house, we watched Blazing Saddles together, which had more racial obscenities of various types than anything I've seen. And we watched Gran Torino, with where Clint Eastwood plays the the Korean War vet, which were the guys I grew up with. They were all Korean War vets. And oh man, they were in tears. They're like, that was the funniest thing they've ever seen. And then they went and watched Eddie Murphy Delirious, which was just obscenities from one end to the other. So yeah, humor is different now than it was when we were all growing up. Spent the weekend at Bug Out House with a few family members. See, Mimi, and when you find new people that think like you, even if they're friends, yeah, that's true, as Mel Brooks. Lucky Dame, true story, World War Z, the original book, was written by Max Brooks, Mel Brooks' son. It was meant to be a sarcastic, comical spoof of zombie apocalypse, and then it became this, it took its whole own life after that. Yeah, Mark C., you don't have a lot of logistics. By the way, folks, I'm on the phone, so I'm missing some of the chat. So if I missed something you asked me, I apologize. But folks, watch this Sudan and the way it evolves out, because there's a lot of lessons that we can all take from that. And I'm going to, Devil Dog, no, I will be practicing, because I have another competition shoot next week, and then we're trying to finagle the boss to let us write off a third shoot 2 weeks later, assuming, hey, what's going on, Navy? Yeah, depending on whether the boss tells me that's too much shit, be gone. So yeah, you know, because it depends. My clients are happy, and I do good work, and I get good contracts, so the boss is like, yeah, whatever, but I still got to get approvals. At some point, they may be like, you're having too much fun. I don't agree. I think I'm having just the right amount of fun, but they may tell me I'm having too much fun. So actually, I need to get some of my coworkers who are also preppers, some of whom are former military, who are absolutely crazy people. And you would like them. If I had them on a live stream, that would be something different. That's a different crowd, my group. But yes, thank you, Lucky. Yeah, so folks, there's a lot of lessons we can learn about preparedness and a true SHTF by what's happening in Sudan. I know All American Prepper, these guys, his guys, they do not live fire, I said live fire. They do live equipment, airsoft training, or paintball. I don't remember which one they use. Probably airsoft, because paintball will mark you up, and then you have to clean your gear. You know, even stuff like that. If you don't have a mag, you can go play paintball, right? And put a bunch of gear on and then run around in your local weather and see how you do. You're probably going to freak yourself out. You'll be like, fuck, I'm dying. But lesson learned, right? If something happens and you're in a city environment, or you're in a situation where you have to shoot and move, that's a good way to test. You know, airsoft field is a great place to find, like, yeah. And also to All Americans, his technique, or his the philosophy of doing that, and that's great. I got to really start thinking of doing that out here. Being able to run drills in a fun environment where you can trade notes, you learn things from other people, right? You may be shooting with more experienced airsoft players who'll be like, oh, you know what, you should put this over here on your gear, and you should change your sling, and now you've learned something that you can apply elsewhere. So anything you can learn is good. But folks, what the folks in Sudan are going through right now is really freaking bad. Lucky's thrown a bunch of links in the chat. Go check it out. This is ugly, And it's, Ukraine, at least they know, the Ukrainian people who are pro-Russian know, go to the Russians. The ones who are pro-Ukrainian will go toward the Ukrainian lines. I don't think the people in Sudan know who the hell is who. And I think that can become a very dangerous situation for these folks, where they, no water, no electricity. Okay, so Lucky just confirmed 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and Hayes Gray had reached out to me that he learned a few things about accessory placement and securing certain parts of your gear a certain way. So yeah, that's a great way to learn, because you'd rather have like a lesson in a training evolution than a lesson in an actual situation. So foreign military, the most physically fit alcoholics you'll ever meet. Yeah, and preppers. Some of the preppers, we're not too far from that either. But this guy's gonna have an accident with that. I'm in a parking lot under a tree, and this guy's gonna have a car wreck all by himself because he's not paying attention. Good job there, stupid. But yeah, to the point, that was sus. He was doing slow drives by certain vehicles, and then I guess he was doing a slow drive by mine and realized I'm physically in the vehicle. And then he took off, went to somebody's really bougie Jeep over here, and he stopped like he was looking into the vehicle, then decided no, and then he kept going. So interesting stuff. It's funny when you sit in a parking lot on a phone call or something and you just watch the people going in and out of stores, and it becomes like, wow, that's crazy. But folks, before I digress, I had a squirrel moment there because that guy was being sus. Watch this Sudan unfold, okay? Chicago had basically a weekend of riots for no specific purpose. They destroyed cars, they destroyed stores. There was a video I saw where they attacked a vehicle, kicked in the windows, pulled the people out of the vehicle and beat them up in the street, and then drove the vehicle into a pole on purpose. Like they just decided to crash the vehicle 10 feet away. Leave the beer. Chicago's had riots. LA had a bunch of riots. Walmart's about to leave parts of Chicago now. And so Chicago's solution was to blame Walmart for leaving the city. Not, oh, we don't have enough law enforcement and we've let these assholes run the city. No, it was Walmart's fault that they're leaving. Which, yeah, I know all of you think like me. You're like, where's your, you could get an aneurysm thinking about this stupidity. But folks, and like New Orleans had some really bad crime, but it's kind of confined to the city of New Orleans, certain parts anyway. But there's a lot of lessons. There's a lot of instability, especially in the urban areas right now. LA, New York, Chicago's absolutely a mess. I don't know how good Detroit is. I think everyone's completely broke in Detroit, so there's nothing to riot about because nobody has money and there's nothing to steal. Detroit's hurting right now. Nothing in Houston, nothing in Dallas. You know, in Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, you're liable to get shot doing stuff like that. And yeah, Wolfgang, there's no family structure. The best video I saw during the riots in 2020 was this mom, and it was an African-American woman. She parks between the police cars. The cops are like, ma'am, you can't go there. She's like, my son is there. She pushes past the cops, grabs her kid, turns him around and smacks him across the head. I mean, she took his beanie right off his head. Hey, Lucky, take care. Drags him, going, what? You're gonna riot here, you're gonna die, they're gonna shoot you. She beat his ass. The cops just backed up. They're like, yep, she's got it handled, we're not even touching this. And she beat that boy's ass all the way to her SUV and threw him in the car. And I was like, good for her. You know, somebody needs to buy that woman a year worth of gas for her vehicle, because that's a badass mom right there. She went into a riot, kicked her son's ass, and dragged his ass out. So that was kind of impressive, I thought. But folks, a lot of instability. So if you're traveling into the cities, be careful right now, okay? Absolutely. Hey, farmer, we need more parents like her. But Sudan is experiencing a real-life SHTF, much like South Africa did in 2020. And Chicago seems to be on the verge of an SHTF right now. All-American, you're absolutely right. People will kill for nonsense in an emergency. They're punching each other for toilet paper. Like today, nobody would do that. But I promise you, in an emergency, they will, especially if food gets scarce. So folks, start watching this stuff. There's a lot of stuff we can watch and we can learn. Hey, Mark, no worries, no worries. I got to go here in a minute anyway. So folks, God bless and be safe. Watch how this plays out. This is going to be very dangerous. Now, tonight is Tuesday, so I think tonight we have Vision, Hudson, Angry, New York, Prepper, and Prepping by Faith. Are you on tonight? No. Or is it My Mother Spark? Yeah, we've got a bunch of creators coming on. I'm going to be in and out of the chats because I got paperwork to do tonight. But folks, watch how this plays out, because as supplies get tight, we're going to learn stuff from what we're seeing over there. And even if we learn half of the lessons we could, we're going to be way ahead of everyone else, because everyone else is going to be caught flat. You guys be good, God bless, and have a great week. I'll hopefully see you. I'll be on Cold War tomorrow, and I will have Prepper Now on my channel Thursday. And then I think that's it. But we got a bunch of other creators coming on this evening, so keep your eyes open. You guys be safe out there. Thank you, mods. And yes, All-Amer, never underestimate the stupidity of other people. So, y'all, yes, stack it. Be safe, guys. We will see you all later.